Right, viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day and welcome to another interesting episode of Beyond the Politics on your favorite channel, Mikia TV. I'm your host, Omar Isa Dandago. Well, today we are recording at the very good and beautiful office of Barrister Maliki Kuliya, former Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Kano State. He served under Engineer Rabi Musa Konkoso from 2011 to 2015. And he's here with me to talk about not to talk about politics, but to talk mostly about his hobbies, as the program entails, that we host politicians and talk in order to talk about their own hobbies and how those hobbies of theirs sort of help shape the trajectory of their lives and help sharpen up the kind of decisions that they make both personally and in their own political life. Well, Barrister Maliki Kuliya joins me right now. Thank you very much indeed for being on the show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you very much for having me.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For the next 25 minutes, we'll be talking a lot about his hobbies and also learn a couple of lessons for our teaming youths watching us out there. Briefly, Barrister, if I may, could you tell us something about yourself, sort of biography in brief, before we transition deeply into the crux of the matter?
Well, thank you very much. Briefly, I was born in Kano in February 1960, and of course, when I started my normal Quranic schools, around 1966, I started primary school, and of course, we mixed the normal primary education and Quranic schools up to the age of 12, 13. And then we went to college. I attended then government college, Birnin Kudu, which is now in Jigawa State.
Sure.
I left Birnin Kudu in 1977, from where I gained admission into Barr University, Kano. Did my pre-degree in 1978 to 1979. From there, I joined the Faculty of Law. Graduated in 1983. In 1983 and 1984, I was at the Nigerian Law School in Lagos, where I had my BL degree, which is the barristership. And I was registered as a solicitor and barrister of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in 1984. After the law school, I went to NYSC at Benin. Then now it is Edo State. That time it was called, what is the name of the state then? In any case, I served in the Ministry of Justice of that state, and immediately after I finished my service here, I gained, I was employed in the State Ministry of Justice. I was a prosecutor. I stayed there for about 4 or 5 years. Then I left the Ministry of Justice and I joined the First Bank of Nigeria, PLC. I stayed there for about 22 years. In 2011, Rabi Musa Konkoso invited me to serve under his government as the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice of the state, which we did for 4 years. I finished my tenure, or the tenure of that regime, in
2015.
in 2015, and from there, started my private legal practice. But in between, maybe around 2018, I went to the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies in
Lagos?
In Jos,
Okay.
NIPS.
Okay.
I was there for about 10 months.
What did you do?
Well, it's the institute is a well-known institute in Nigeria, Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru. I was there also for about 10 months. And then I came back and continued with my private legal practice, which I still do up to now.
Yeah. Well, that's great, and that is fantastic. I don't know. In 2018, you said you went to that school, Policy and Strategic Studies Institution. In the course of my research before this interview, I got to understand that you are an avid reader. You have this deeply rooted culture of reading, and that was probably, not even probably, but definitely why you had to take your time, as old as you are, to go back to school, learn something, and continue reading. How's it going to be?
Well, I don't know whether it's so deep, but naturally, by virtue of my profession, I just have to read and read and read, not only law, but many other fields. As ordinarily, you see, acquiring a degree in whatever field is just introduction to knowledge. Thereafter, after your graduation, when you are found good in character and learning, then you should try and learn more and more and do something else. Learn deeply, read widely. Whatever field you study in the university, you need to also learn bits and pieces of some other fields here and there, so that you will be fairly knowledgeable in almost all fields.
As they say, you should know something in almost everything.
Yeah, you should know something, a bit of here and a bit there, and that's how it should be.
Okay.
Thank you.
So for you, what sort of genre of books do you read? Only, even though you said it that not only in your own field, law. So what sort of other books do you read? Fictions, non-fictions, or whatever?
No, well, now I used to read fictions in those years, but now, apart from my law books, I read more of religious books. That's where I find a lot of peace. When you explore your religion every day, you learn something new. You begin to, see the differences of opinion, see where they agree with you, or you agree with them, where you don't agree with them. I mean, you try to learn more so that you should be able to live a more contented life. Yeah.
Outside this office of yours, by the left, I saw what looks like a library.
Yes.
And books are in different shelves.
Yes.
That is your sort of office library, apart from the one that you have at home?
Yeah, of course, that's my library. That's my library. If you go there, you will see books on so many fields. Of course, largely law books. But there are biographies, there are books on history, there are books on science, so many things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Before we talk about that, let me ask you this question. A lot of young people right now are not interested in reading. They're always on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and whatever, you name it, all of them. I don't know. Is it fair if we say that social media platforms have aided and abetted and degraded, or if not eroded the habit of reading from the minds of young people?
Well, I think you are not far away from the truth. And I think, you see, social media has a lot of advantages, but it has its own disadvantages as well. But most of these things, I think, are encouragable right from the universities and higher institutions. When students given assignments, you have to go and research in the net and all that. Instead of going to the library to look for books, it's easier, it's more handy on your mobile phone. You can be able to make a lot of researches. Ordinarily, it's an opportunity for the younger ones to acquire much more knowledge, if only they will concentrate in exploring what is important and what is good for them and for the society. Not wasting most of their time and data looking for useless contents which will not add much value to them.
Okay.
But ordinarily, if you read books, you find that the knowledge sticks more. When you take the book, you read it, and sometimes even the pages, you will be recalling the pages and all that. When you are reading in the social media, it's just like you're just playing, you know. So reading books is very good. Now, even newspapers now, people don't read newspapers because all the news is there on the net, so you don't have to. Knowledge is very readily available on the social media and other platforms.
So is that a development?
Well, it's a development in a sense, but this is the age of information technology, so we just have to live with it. The only thing is that we should encourage the younger ones to use it more positively. It has both good content and bad content, so people should be encouraged, especially the younger ones, to use more of the good contents for their own self-development and for their own knowledge, for their own well-being and what have you. Yeah.
Which means the older generation, like you, should also be involved, should also know what it is to be on social media, what do people share and read and consume, so as to sort of guide your children on what pages to visit and what not to.
Well, first of all, no matter your age now, I mean, as I said, this is the age of information technology. You have no option but to hook into it. You have no option. Everything now is in the net. You write letters. You do emails now instead of writing letters. You receive processes online instead of going there to do file hard copies and all that. We still have hard copies, but most of them are now on the net. So you have no option now in this age of information technology but to really hook in. You have no option if you want to really live well. You have no option.
So that would help parents in sort of training, giving their children moral training?
Well, of course you have to do that. You have to do that as much as you can. But you see, most of it is, sometimes you wouldn't know what they look at. So you just have to keep counseling them on what to look for, what to do and what not to do. Particularly if you give them a lot of moral education, religious education, that will go in a long way.
So as a father, I'm sorry to cut you off. I want you to look at the camera and tell parents who are currently watching us, give them pieces of advice on how to do this and that in terms of controlling the social media for their children.
Well, I think what parents need to do, first of all, is to make sure that, as I said, you counsel children, you counsel the younger ones on the use of social media. Every now and then, you should check their handsets and see what they are looking at, what they are exploring. Once in a while, you make sure that you sit down with them and you should create time when nobody uses it. I mean, because now you sit down as a family or as friends, everybody is looking at his handset. I mean, you wonder. So every now and then, you should encourage families to sit down together and probably switch off handset so that you live, you communicate like normal people, like normal people. I mean, that's the issue. So that you should be able to interact, with your children, with your wards, with your younger ones, so that they will be able to know what to do and what not to do. But if you just leave them like that, if you don't guide them, they will be misguided outside. So it's very, very important for parents. After all, it's their responsibility primarily to instill discipline in their wards and children. If they don't do that, they will be misguided elsewhere.
Well, still sticking on this issue of reading before we move on to the other hobby of yours, that's traveling. Could you sort of clearly tell us how reading has helped you in your life by citing some examples, for example?
You see, the thing is, if you read, you begin to have a lot of peace of mind. We begin to see the world maybe with a very clear focus. You begin to understand human beings. You understand their psychology. You understand how to deal with them. Because as Allah says, you cannot compare the knowledgeable people with those who are not knowledgeable. So it's very key. The more knowledge you acquire, the better. Sometimes when you have, when you read Sharia law, for example, you see so many people are just like crazy. You see everybody is like people assume that they know. For example, I have given up in even correcting people how to perform even basic ablution.
Oh, subhanallah.
If you sit down and watch people performing ablution, you begin to wonder,
subhanallah,
why do they like? Why? Because they have not learned it in school, or they have not learned it, practically.
Yes,
they rely on radio, social media. Clearly, if you see the way they do it, certainly they have not learned it in school.
Or as people say, Kamara Aitan Nasir.
That is it. This means they have not learned it in school. They just saw people doing it. I have stopped. I'm so tired of correcting people. The performance, and if you don't perform ablution very well, it means your prayers are also not very well. Just watch the way people do it. You will be amazed. You will be shocked. You see. Now, if you read, particularly religious scriptures, you read and read, you begin to take life so easy.
Yes.
You begin to know that life is just very temporary, of course, and you know it immediately after some years. Whether you like it or not, every day you remember the grave.
Yes.
Because there's no day in your life that you don't remember it now.
Definitely.
But it's very, very important. When you do that, when you read, you will be able to relate with people in a better way. You will have better manners.
Excellent.
You will know how to deal with people with good manners and how to deal with people with bad manners.
Sure.
You will know how to deal with leaders. You will know how to lead with their subordinates, how to relate with them. Is very, very important.
And that has helped you politically?
I would say in a very modest way that it has helped me. I just found myself in politics anyway. I am not a politician as such.
Okay. An accidental politician, we can call you?
Very accidental, as it were. I have so many friends. I've always had friends in politics.
Including Konkoso?
But yes, and many others. But you see, when you go into politics, you will be able to know people the more. Yeah. You will meet all sorts of characters. Yeah. You will know how to handle so many situations. Like what Konkoso used to say, if you get the politics correct, everything will fall in place.
Yes.
Most of our problem is that we don't get it correct. But now you get it correct, I think Nigeria will be in a better place.
Very good.
That is why you see our leaders in the First Republic have done very, 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 very well. Their level of education is not much.
Yeah, it's not compared to the level
now.
we're enjoying.
But like all other things, you now see people with so many degrees and all that, but with very, very little knowledge, as it were. Even even ulamas. Now you see everybody has memorized the Quran, he knows the Hadith, but I don't know whether the piety is there like it used to be with the older generation, who had much less knowledge, or who read much less books than the current ones, but they certainly were more pious, more God-fearing, and but now, even the ulamas are competing among themselves.
Yes, of course, this is very much controversial. But even though there's a lot of there are tons of evidence to prove this assertion, we have 5 minutes to go.
Okay.
The issue of traveling, you take it as a hobby, or?
Yeah, you know, I do. When you have the time, like. When you have a vacation once in a year at least, you need to, if you can, just travel, see new places, see new cultures. You know, it's just fun. You know, you travel and.
But it's not part of our culture in Hausa. You hardly see Hausa people, ordinary Hausa people, during a vacation or holiday, as it is in British English, traveling to the village to see the serenity of the environment there, or traveling to another country to.
I don't think so. Even in our young days, you find people like, okay, we all had our early childhood in boarding houses outside Kano. It's not Nailana that you see the same boy. He was born in Kano, primary school in Kano, secondary school in Kano, Bayero University in Kano.
In the same local government.
Probably the same local government. And but nowadays, at least this one will go that way, this one will go that way, and during vacations, you see everybody tries to go and see his aunties, his uncles, his grannies, you know?
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. But now, I don't know, it's so difficult. Probably the economy is not encouraging.
Sure.
But it's always good to just have a break, sit down, see new places. There are a lot of places in Nigeria. I mean, I traveled a lot in Nigeria and I've seen so many places. You'll be surprised in Nigeria, there's a place I went where they don't have mosquitoes.
They don't have mosquitoes. In Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yeah.
Can you remember the name of the place?
It's in Osun State.
Osun State. In Southwest.
Yes, in Southwest. They don't have mosquitoes.
Oh my God.
The weather is so nice.
Wow, excellent.
This
is news.
So you see, in Nigeria, it's a great country. You travel and you will be amazed the kind of places we have. In those years, if you go to Jos, it's a fantastic place.
Yeah,
but now they have destroyed the place because of crisis every now and then.
Communal crisis.
You go to Mabila and you see the place
in
Taraba, you see clouds just. Wow. You know, you go to Tinapa and see the place. You go to Yankari. I mean,
Bauchi State.
And Nigeria is a fantastic place, believe me. And, we thank God that when the country was so peaceful,
we had that
opportunity. And all.
But now, the younger generation,
now, you cannot.
Sorry for them. So let's hope the problems will be resolved.
Hopefully. I mean, that's up to you, younger ones, to do what you can.
So in 1 minute before we go,
yes.
Countries that you have visited.
Yes.
How many? Up to 50?
Oh, no. Certainly not. Maybe 10, 15.
Wow.
But you see, every now and you go there.
Yeah. What's your favorite country?
Believe me, you will be surprised. My favorite country is Senegal.
Senegal?
Honestly,
West Africa.
I so much like Senegal.
Close to the Gambia.
Very close to the Gambia. A fantastic place. Very friendly.
Wow.
they live a very good life, a very simple life, very religious, and you go there, you feel you're at home.
Okay. Yeah, because there are many people who look like us.
Of course, we all in Africa, particularly around that Senegal, we all look the same and all that. And they're very nice people, honestly.
That's very good.
You go there, you feel at home.
Some places that you can remember in Senegal, Kaolaha or Dakar.
There is a place they call Tufa.
Okay, Tufa.
I went there and I saw the sheikh in Tufa. Tufa is just like the Vatican.
Okay. The Vatican City, yes, we know in Italy.
Yes, okay. It's a very religious place. The sheikh of Tufa is like the leader.
Is he also Tijani?
But a different kind of Tijani.
Okay.
He is more popular than
Sheikh Ibrahim.
Yes.
Oh my God.
At least in Senegal.
Yeah. Sheikh Ibrahim is more internationally renowned.
Exactly, but that Tufa sheikh in Senegal, I think is more popular.
Excellent.
But you go there, and that is a place where nobody even smokes in that place.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's why I said it's like the Vatican.
Yes, they have their mosques. A very nice, serene place.
Excellent.
And they have the beaches.
Yeah.
In the evening, you come and see people doing their normal exercise. You know, they like football. Yes. They like exercise.
Sadio Mane is from.
Most of the good buildings you see in Senegal, they belong to all these football stars. But it's a fantastic place.
It is.
Yes.
You don't like the US?
No. US.
It's crazy.
It's just too far, and they don't have efficient public transport system that you have in Europe.
Europe is.
But it's too large. It's just too large. Yes.
Well, Barrister Maliki Kuliya, it's a huge pleasure. It's been a huge pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you
on this show. Not because we have exhausted all the questions, but because of time. We hope when next you are available, we'll be back to talk about another issue.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome.
What can you say to Mikia TV?
Well, Mikia, I wish you well, and I hope you will continue to do what it takes, bearing in mind that now this is the age of information technology. People watch you, so you have a responsibility to make sure that you dish out what is fair, just, and right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. On behalf of everyone that has contributed to the production of the show, my name is Umar Isa, and we'll say goodbye and see you very soon. Assalamu alaikum.